Hi, I'm Nicole Beniamini, Vice President here at Edison Research. As one of the researchers who works closely with our infinite dial studies, I'm excited to present you with our number 5 item on our top 10 findings of 2022, which is that monthly podcast consumption is strong and consistent, both here in the US as well as across the world. The infinite dial study began in the 1990s, but it wasn't until 2008 when we actually started asking about podcast listening. Back then, only 9% of Americans 12 plus said they listened to a podcast in the last month. But here you can see how much that percentage has grown over the past 14 years. In March of 2022, we reported that 38% of Americans aged 12 plus are monthly podcast listeners. This translates to over 100 million people. Now, this year's percentage is down a little bit from the spike we saw in 2021, which we believe was likely due to quarantine restrictions and more time spent at home. But in 2022, most of us returned back to work and back to school, and mostly returning to a pre-pandemic routine. So how does this US number compare to the other countries where we've conducted an infinite dial study? Among the 5 countries shown here, Canada has the highest percentage of monthly podcast listeners at 43%, which is 5 percentage points higher than the US. The UK is next at 41%, followed by Australia at 40%, and New Zealand at 39%. Make sure you check back here in 2023 to see how podcast listening continues to grow.